Hey folks, welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
And this is our bottom 5 city building games. And in just a few minutes after you're done watching this, you can go over to the Flipside and watch our top 5 city building games, because this is not the worst games in our opinion.
Nope.
This is just the bottom half of our top 10.
Right.
And you can go see the rest of our top 10 over on the Flipside. Anyway, city building games. How would you define a city building game?
So the way BGG defines it is not the same way I define it.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hear
A
it.
city building game means that at the end of the game, you have something to look at that you've built. That's my opinion.
Okay. Yes. 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 Yes.
At least to some extent. There's got to be
Yes.
something.
Yes. Kinda. Yes.
That's good.
Yes. All right. So 9 out of 10,
Yeah.
according to your definition.
But some of those things, they had Architects of the West Kingdom as a city builder.
Okay.
You don't build anything but a cathedral, and that's all in your brain.
Sure.
They had Everdale as a city builder. They had Lords of Waterdeep as a city builder.
Yeah, that was
They
weird.
had a whole slew of them that I would
Yeah.
also.
I pretty much just trusted BGG, but there were definitely some ones I was
Yeah.
like, really?
There.
Anyway, we're caught up on years, so you've pretty much we've got the groundwork laid
Perfect.
for the kind of gamers that we are currently.
Knuckleheads.
Yep, Knuckleheads is right. So we're going to kind of branch out. We're going to start doing mechanisms and themes and categories and that kind of stuff now. And this is the first one in that. As we're doing this, we don't have all of the extra data that we used to do with the year-based lists. So we're doing something different here, and we're going to be giving our average complexity weight
When are we giving it? Before or at the end or when?
right now.
Right now?
What was your average complexity?
5. No, it was not 5. 2.56.
2 really?
Yeah.
I would have expected it to be higher for you.
Well, there's a lot of light city builders.
That's true.
There's a lot of light city
Mine was just slightly under that, the 2.41.
Probably
2.41. That's interesting.
2.56.
What was your heaviest one then?
My heaviest one?
Yeah.
Just the number.
Yeah, just the number.
3.59.
3.3. My lightest was 1.89 out of 5.
Nice. I'm going all the way 1.78.
What?
Yeah.
Your lightest one was lighter than mine?
Yep.
I don't believe that. All right, well, let's get to it. Our bottom 5 city building games. Let's hit it. All right, my number 10. When I was making this list, I thought, I don't think I could make a city building games list without including this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of using its past merit. I think I would easily choose any of the other 9 to play before I played this one again. But I do own a lot of it.
Sure. Okay.
Carcassonne.
Fair.
Carcassonne is, in my opinion at least, the OG city building game.
Except for mostly you're just building farms. And
You're
roads.
building a lot of cities. You're just not building detailed cities.
Fair.
You're just building like, here's a city here, there's a city here, and then you're scoring the farms in
Well, they do
between
have
those
Carcassonne
cities.
City, though, right?
They do, and I really don't like that game very much, but I know that a lot of people like that one as a city builder much better than regular Carcassonne.
Nice.
So that is a caveat. But Carcassonne is a really fun tile-laying game, and that's where I kind of like, this is a little bit of a cheesy choice, because to me, it's less of a city building game and more of a tile placement game.
Yeah, I would.
But I guess that's the difference between a category and a mechanism.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
But I still think it's a good pick, and it
when
is
you're done, there's something on the board to look
exactly. See, that's why I was like, all right, it fits.
Fit my category.
It fits his category, and that's all that matters. So that's my number 10, Carcassonne. I really do enjoy the game.
My number 10 is a really fun little city building game,
Mhm.
a town building game.
Mm.
As long as you have a good master builder. No, everybody's the master builder. There's a game called Tiny Towns.
Tiny Towns.
Tiny Towns is a great little. You got a 4x4 grid, 4x4, 5x5.
Something like
You
that.
got a grid. Anyways, a small grid. And you're putting in different materials. Each person gets to be the master builder. They get to call out a material, glass or wood or clay or whatever else. And you're putting them in certain patterns so that you can take a building and then place it in your little town.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just building this little town out. You're trying to make specific patterns, put 4 churches in the corner, put whatever, whatever that might be. So
Right.
just a fun little town builder. Throw away all the cards and you're good to go.
You snuck that in there. I was going to razz you
I know.
and say you could actually play this game and have a lot more fun if you just flip the cards.
I knew where it's coming.
Yeah, it was coming. No, I get it. If you want it to feel like a roll and write, then you use the cards.
Yeah.
If you want it to feel like a regular board game, you just have a master builder.
Yep.
So yeah, Tiny Towns is a good one. It's probably in my top 15. It just didn't make my top 10. One of the things that I don't like about the Master Builder is that people can be intentionally, well, I'm definitely not going to choose that one because I know that's what you want.
That's kind of the point.
I know it is, but it's mean.
Well, it's fun.
It's mean. Sometimes I like
You
the...
need to put your 5th glass out there. Because you're building like a madman.
That's true. That's a good pick. I think it's a good one. Definitely enjoyable. Like I said, probably my top 15, but it just didn't make my cut.
Perfect.
My number 9 is a legacy style game from Mr. Reiner Knizia, and this one is called My City. I have not played my island yet because I told myself I would not even open my island until I finished my city, and we have not yet finished my city, but I really enjoy this game. And it is such that I like all of the legacy versions of it, but even without the legacy version, I still think it's a very fun puzzle to play, multiplayer puzzle. And I really do enjoy it. I think all of the extra rules that each of the new chapters adds to it, up to, I think, what was it, chapter 5 or something like that. After you play chapter 5, you have all of the basic rules settled. And
Spoilers.
well,
No,
I mean, they tell you that in a rule book.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that. I like all the stuff that it adds to it in the legacy version. A lot of the rules, and I'm being very nebulous on purpose because I don't want to give up too many spoilers if you're going to go play through it. But a lot of the historical flair, a lot of the I guess historical flair would be the best way to put it, of boom towns back in the Old West and that kind of stuff. I really enjoyed that.
I didn't know that
fun.
was a theme.
Yeah.
I thought I was just putting polyominoes in a grid and trying to make them fit.
Well, it is. I mean, they didn't use like actual historical facts, but they followed that Western boomtown theme
Gotcha.
to a T, kind of. And I just thought that was interesting. But putting polyominoes on the map in the most efficient way and trying to score as many points as you can is really the crux of the game. But I really enjoyed it. It's my number 9.
It's a great game.
My City.
Great game. We will move from the Old West then to my number 9, to a big city.
Big city.
Yeah. One of the coastal cities, one of the big... No, we're moving to New York City by Queen Games.
Ooh.
New York City is
right.
really an area control game, and you're playing on a central board, and you're trying to control the areas.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to get your skyscrapers out there in the different areas.
Yeah.
Through a card play mechanism where you're playing down certain amount of cards of different types. You can do your actions.
Mm-hmm.
But in doing that, it really is just creating New York City and all of these skyscrapers going up in all the different boroughs.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool game. It's got a really cool presence on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like.
Yeah. I've only played it
very
once.
Interesting game.
I've only played it once, and I did enjoy that play of it. I just need to get it to the table a little bit more before I would put it on the table on a list like this. But I think it's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have anything wrong with it. I just need to play it more.
And you're building a city.
Yeah, you are absolutely building one of the biggest cities in the world. All right, my number 8. Why would we stop at just city building?
Uh-oh. Here we go. Asterisk.
I think civilization building works
No.
as a city building game. You're definitely building a lot of different cities as you build the civilization, and it was on the category list.
I know, lots of things were on the category list.
Yeah. Well, Seven Wonders.
You're not even building a city, you're just set collecting cards.
So it's an abstracted theme.
Wow. All right.
I know.
It definitely was on the list.
I know. It was definitely on the list, and like I said, I just trusted BGG. And this one fit for me because it was macrocosmic city building. Because your city is actually your civilization.
Yep.
And you're adding certain things to it to make your civilization better than everybody else's. I know, it's a stretch. But in my opinion, it works. It's a category, not necessarily a mechanism as I get it. And if you disagree with me, it's fine. That's wrong. All right. You can be wrong. It's okay. But I really enjoy this game. And I think it's a great game for a number of different people. We've talked about it before on other lists, how I've really considered this kind of a gateway type game.
Sure.
And except for the scoring at the end, the scoring is wonky, but as long as one person knows what they're doing, I think it works well in a gateway situation because the mechanisms aren't that difficult at all. It's just set collection and putting things down. You definitely get better at it as you go along.
Sure.
But it's got great artwork. I think each of the different civilizations plays slightly differently. I like it, and I enjoy it, so that's why it's on my list.
It is an interesting thing thinking about that game because they could publish it with 10 different themes and people would buy it for 10 different themes.
That is true. It's not highly thematic.
No.
It's very mechanical.
Yeah.
Fair. I think they should just do a city-themed version of it, not civilization-themed.
Version.
Somebody takes New York, somebody takes San Francisco, London, Paris, Moscow.
And you have to build buildings.
Exactly. See? It's a city-building game with just the wrong theme.
There you go.
Seven Wonders.
All right. Fair. My number 8 is a cool little city building game where you're building your own cities, and it's called Acropolis.
Oh, okay. I have never
Acropolis,
played this game.
you are drafting tiles.
No, I haven't played this.
You have played this.
This is the one that you stack things up, right?
Yep.
And you
you're
have
drafting
different
tiles,
like,
and you're
okay, yeah, that's good.
Yep. And you're collecting either plazas of a color, or you're collecting different colored buildings. There's also quarries all over the tiles that you can get, and if you can cover quarries, you get more stone, which lets you draft deeper in the line so that you can get better picks on your tiles. But you're just drafting and building these puzzles and patterns within your city, so you can score them however they may. Like residential buildings, they all want to be connected together, and then you need as many blue stars as you can find, so you're multiplying your blue stars by how many buildings in your groups and things like that. So but this is a fun little city building game, kind of in the thread of like Cascadia, that kind of tile drafting type of thing, or that Aqua that we just played, but kind of in that same grouping of drafting mechanism.
Yeah,
cool. Just building a little city in this one.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just forgot I had played it until you started explaining it, and then it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I have played this one.
Yeah, this one's a fun one.
It is. It is a really fun one, and it's got that three-dimensional aspect going for it that really seems kind of necessary for city building games, but a lot of city building games don't necessarily do it. But
it makes it nice.
Yep, it does. Very cool. Good pick. All right, my number 7. My number 7 is a city building game.
Sweet.
Just like the last one was.
Oh no!
No.
Abstract city building game.
No, this one is where you are employing the help, or enlisting rather, the help of alien races as you build your city. Way back when, it's called Origins First Builders. And this one, you are actually building out your city using all of those different hexagonal buildings, and you have each one can be little districts, and where you place your dice kind of determines how many points you score for all of those different buildings. There's a little bit of a civilization feel to it because you are. The civilization feel for me really comes more from that military track because.
Sure.
That was super abstracted.
It's
military.
It's just
and everything else wasn't super abstracted, but military super was. So that was the only part of the game that felt like more of a civilization pull to it. Everything else is you're building up your tableau, which is your city.
That counts. I'm all right with that. It totally counts.
No, I think it does. I think it does good, and it works really well. It's by Board and Dice, and it's a really great game. This one is my heaviest game of the list. This is my heaviest game on the list. It was a 3.3.
Really?
Yeah. And again, that's using the BGG complexity, and it really depends on who rates it.
That's probably it's a good straight up 3.
Yeah, it's on the heavier side definitely, but of the games on this list, this is the heaviest one on my list. So
I thought your heaviest one was a 3.3. Is that what you said? 3.3?
Yeah, 3.3. That's what it is. Origins First Builders is a 3.3. Yep.
I gave it a 3.03. No, I'm just kidding. That's fair.
That's my number 7. Origins First Builders.
Yeah, that's a very cool game.
It is.
Very cool game. All right, my number 7 is a really cool game that you all should go check out. I know it's my number 7 because I need to play it more. Every time I play it, it intrigues me to no end. But this is from El Dorado Games and has a big Neptune statue in the middle. It's called Age of Atlantis.
Age of Atlantis.
I think it's called The Age of Atlantis.
I don't think I've played this one.
No, you haven't yet. And this is a really cool city building game. You have Atlantis, you're in the center. This is kind of almost gives you that tower defense where enemies are coming from all different sides, but every player around the board kind of is a different faction within the city. You might be the builders, or you might be the government, or you might be the church people or whatever else. And you have your own player board with all kinds of upgrades and stuff that you can do as the ages go by. But you have dice, and the dice are really cool because they're either just normal citizens or they become Atlanteans and they have a sword on them. You don't roll your dice, but depending on, it's a worker placement game where you're placing your dice out, and when you place them out, you do whatever the action is, collect wood or whatever else. But if you want to make them sad, you can turn them to a sad face, and you can collect more, or you can do another action with them, like you can overwork your people. And so you have to manage the happiness of your people. You have to turn some of them Atlanteans because they've got to go out and fight, these creatures and critters coming in.
Yeah.
At the same time, you're building buildings, mills, and not office buildings, but like administration buildings, different things like that, barracks that allow you to do different things and allow other people to do different things.
That's cool.
So you're all working in the same city. You all want to be the best faction. You all want to kind of screw over the other guy. And you do it in your way. So it's very interesting. It's not like Take That.
Is there a cooperative element to it? Do you have to reach like cooperative goals?
You have to defend the city together.
Got it. Okay, yeah.
Like that is the cooperative piece. You have to defend your city.
But you still want to be the best defender.
Yep. If they come into a space with a building, the building obviously gets wiped out. But if they come into the inner ring of the city, then Neptune gets mad at all of you for not protecting Atlantis. And then he basically wipes out a whole area.
Got it.
So yeah, you're working together to protect Atlantis. It kind of gives you that Roman feel, like that old kind of like faction feel that you'd get from like Rome.
Yep.
But very, very cool game.
Cool. Good pick. Strangely enough, when I decided to put this game on my list, I thought it was going to be the heaviest game on the list, complexity speaking. But it is not. It is the second heaviest, and that is Nova Roma. And this one has a city building feel in a couple of different ways, I think. You are building up your own little plantation is not the right word, but it's the same idea. Your own little farm, I guess. Hamlet or whatever it is.
Yeah,
you're building up your own little...
I didn't think about this as a city builder, but I forgot about that piece. So.
Yeah, you have your own little kind of village hamlet thing that you're building up in as part of your tableau, but you're also contributing to the popularity of Rome, I guess, in a number of different ways. You're going out, you're sailing, and you're trading, and then you're also building out a little bit on that. I'm reaching out here because the last time I played it, that's where it was. But it's where it's like an area control mechanism out there where you're building different things, different buildings, different. In that, and you're just putting down little chips down there. But there's another aspect of that over there as well in that area of the board, and I can't remember what they called it. Man, it's bugging me now.
I can't remember what they called it either. I've been thinking the whole time you said that.
There's a sailing part of it, which is not really city building, but that area control mechanism where you're building up the different parts, that really felt like city building, although it's not. It's more like regions.
It's more like regions.
Yeah,
it's more
not
like regional
cities.
Control of surrounding regions. Rome.
But it felt like you were city building over there. And then everything else in the Rome part of the board wasn't really city building-ish.
No, but you get a chariot race. So
but yeah, you do get a chariot race, and you are getting helpers and that kind of thing, architects, and so it really felt like a city building game. But I could see the argument to be made that it's not really a city building game.
Sure.
I don't really care. It felt like one to me. That's why it's number 6 on my list.
All right, fair. That's fair. I was trying to think, what's the game that has the 2 tracks that come together? My brain is not working. The money and the fame, the one with the river. Rogers of the Ganges. I should have called that a city builder since you're building the same thing. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
That would have been a good stretch. I'm just throwing shade. I apologize.
Yes.
All right, my number 6.
It's been hot. I'll take all the shade I can get.
That's right. It has. The last one on this list for the Dice Tower. My number 6 is an OG city builder that's pretty ugly, and it's called Suburbia. Suburbia is a city builder to the greatest extent of the word. You put your airport there, then you surround it with low-income housing. No, I'm just kidding. You do whatever you want, but you're trying to make your city make sense so you can increase population and increase your money and all of those kind of things. So, not the prettiest game in the world, but such an effective city builder, and
it's actually a really good game. I just don't like it because it doesn't look that great. That's all.
Yeah, but I really like Suburbia. It's such a great game.
No, that's a good pick. It is an absolutely good game, and I just wish it was a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. That's all. But that is a good list. All right. Well, that is our bottom 5 city building games-ish right here on the Dice Tower. As I said earlier, you can now head on over to the Flipside and catch our top 5 because it will be ready just as promptly as you want to get over there. So thank you for joining us here on the Dice Tower. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon over here, then head over to the Flipside and do the same thing over there, and we'll appreciate you for it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys and gals on the Flipside.
Comment down below. Tell us what you think. Otherwise,
Tell us how wrong we are. Let us have it. Open season.
Don't
it's
do that.
fine. See you later, folks.